voting rights, education, healthcare, environment, human rights, and other. I'm the other person. So each one of the people that were up here during the breakout will be standing under those signs. And if that was your primary area of interest, we ask you to go there to meet some people that you have things in common with. And we'll go through what that's all about. Because what we want to do is make sure that we get feedback from everybody. We want to hear what's important, even though we may only be able to focus on one or two things at a time. We can't be all things to all people. I want to lastly go over, and we'll go over the action plan, what things we have planned for you after the break. We have a social time where we're going to ask you to break out into roles. So, for example, as I mentioned, each one of us is focusing on different roles like media, legislation, legislators, and some of you don't want to do any of those things. You just have an other, you would come and see me. So if you want to just stay at home, send emails, write letters, make phone calls, we are very happy to have you do that. We need people to do that. We don't need everybody calling Walden or whatever. So we will break out that way as well. We come together in peace. And I would like to emphasize that this is all about taking action and being polite to everybody. We understand some of you believe in some things and others believe in other things. What we want to do is find a common ground and work to accomplish those things we have in common. We want to acknowledge that some people are red, some people are green, some people are blue, some people are purple. And that's the focus of our team, is to really come together, acknowledge our differences, and fight together. So with that, I'm going to pass over to David and Charlotte.
How many people are hearing a country music soundtrack? 99.3. I'm not a country fan, so you can't hear me? No? It's about, is that better? Is that working? Better? Okay. How's that? Yeah. Okay. We're amateurs at this, all right? So, this is pretty amazing. I mean, take a look around at yourselves. The only place where I've seen a bigger crowd is both. This is unbelievable. The music is louder too. So we'll have a soundtrack. It's appropriate. There are three takeaways that we want everyone to come away with. If you remember nothing else, out of all the stuff that we tell you, there are three things that we want you to remember. One is that we're stronger together. I don't know how many people are here. This started out as basically friends talking to friends because we were upset. We were sad. We didn't know what to do. We started collecting people. And all of a sudden we have, does anybody have a guess? 300-400 people here? That's pretty amazing. So if we all act together and we start bringing in friends, it's like the old Pearl commercial. She told two friends, and she told two friends, and pretty soon everybody. Another thing is that our representatives, they're telling me to basically swallow this microphone. Our representatives care about basically three things: re-election, re-election, and re-election. That's it. They don't care about other people outside their district. They don't care about other issues. They care about getting re-elected. That's how we will get the pressure on. The third thing is that we're in this for the long haul. This is not going out to march once and feel good. This is about the next 2 years. It's about the next 4 years. God help us if it's the next 8 years. We're really hoping. Yes, but this is basically, my generation has been lucky. We have not had to fight for civil rights. We have not had to fight to stop Vietnam. The 40-something, we've been spoiled. This is our chance to stand up and do what every generation before us has had to do. So we're in this for the long haul. We're going to have to stick with it. So we've come to this moment to this group from many different directions. So far, we started this mailing list about 3 weeks ago as a web page. We've got over 250 people signed up in about 3 weeks. That's all by word of mouth. That's you people talking to your friends and getting them to sign up. That is unbelievable. Our Facebook page, I checked this morning, our Facebook page had 420 members.
Wow. Of course it is.
And again, this only started a few weeks ago. So that's pretty amazing. That's really huge in a deep red county like Josephine County. So I want you all to give yourselves a hand. I will also say that I love the hats. Unlike NPR, I do not have permission to use the word on the stage, but they're great hats. So this is really what Indivisible is all about. It started as a grassroots movement by a few members of Congress who wanted to learn what the Tea Party had done to change the entire direction of the country. We had 2 or 3% of the voting population that basically managed to shift the entire country hard right. How did they do that? So these Congress people, these former staffers, put together this guide as a Google document, thinking that maybe a few hundred people, policy walks, would read this thing and try to start something. Well, it's been downloaded over 1 million times. And there are 7,200 groups, and as of a week ago, it's probably more than that now, that have formed all over the country, just like this. Some of them are 20 people in little tiny towns out in Alaska. But that's basically how this works. So they studied how the Tea Party grew powerful, and they wrote up the guide. You can all find the guide. I'd encourage you to read it. It's not hard. There's a 1-page summary. It's really, really smart, and it has some really great tactics that you can all learn from. The URL is indivisibleguide.com. So it's pretty easy to remember. If I had a copy, I would hold it up. What's that? The audio version is very good too. Is that better? Mildly. Okay. I'm slow to catch on, sorry. So, what they did is they studied the Tea Party to try to figure out what it was specifically that they had done to do that. They were very, very smart. I don't agree with anything they stand for, but they were very, very smart. So, there are a number of lessons that the Indivisible Guide group learned. And Charlotte's going to talk a little bit about that. Or am I going to talk about that? I was supposed to hand it off to you. Okay, so, sorry about that. Should I have you repeat it?
No, that's okay. Y'all got it? We're good.
Okay. So, lesson number, repeat it?
Okay. Okay. So,
Hold it up.
I will. This is what Indivisible is all about. Thank you so much. I'll learn how to do this. Indivisible started as some congressional representatives, people working for our Congress people, who looked around and saw what the Tea Party had done. And they took notes, and they wrote a guide. And the guide is how to do some very strong work that really affects our legislators and their decisions. They printed that in a guide. The guide is available at indivisibleguide.com, and there's one right back there. Hold yours up if you got them. I see two here. They're fantastic reading. Three. So, with that, the Tea Party has taught us many lessons.
And we're both going to play Vanna White, even though we didn't wear the spangles. You don't want to see my cleavage, trust me. So there are several lessons they taught us. Yeah, you can get that image out of your head later. The Tea Party was almost purely defensive. Okay, so that's lesson number one. They did not have an agenda of their own. They did not have some sort of a platform. They were purely defensive. They were trying to stop the Obama agenda, period. And we saw how well that worked. They played defense the entire time. How do they do that? They put pressure on their local legislators. No one else cares. You can call Mitch McConnell all you want and complain. He doesn't care. You don't vote for him, you're not going to give him money. So unless you swap his phone lines, which is easy to do as it turns out, I think we all know that, he really doesn't care. So we can use some of the same tactics that the Tea Party has used in order to defeat Trump's and the Republicans' radical, racist, sexist, xenophobic agenda, which is what brings us all here tonight, or today. One of the things that they did was they rejected concessions. They did not allow their Republican members of Congress to make concessions to the Democrats. They held a very hard line. So if you supported the Tea Party, they had their backs. If you did not, they were right in your face. That's another lesson that we can use. We can do the same sorts of things to resist the Trump and Republican agenda. Refuse to concede. You could target the candidates who support their agenda. This is people like Walden, who has a 100% voting record for Trump's agenda so far. We can target these people, we can put pressure on them. Another thing is that they focus on their local members of Congress. This is both the state and the national level. This is a very smart thing. They started with the states, and they built up their candidates from the bottom. So they were able to gerrymander the states. They were able to protect their voting base. That's another lesson that we can learn. They have maximum impact on their own members of Congress. That's where the leverage is. And finally, we can focus on our own local members of Congress and fight the Trump agenda in our own state and county as well as nationally. It's not just a national fight. It's here. It's in this county, and we have to do something about it. So remember, one of those lessons was that they care about three things: re-election, re-election, and re-election. So each of them is planning for the next election right now.
All right. So did you notice our president is already campaigning for 2020? Amazing, huh? Never been done before. Never announced like this. Our congressmen, our congresspeople, are campaigning for 2018. But we can be heard now, even as they're campaigning. Candidates listen to their constituents. It will be important and to stand and be heard in our district, our state districts, our federal districts. They listen when we take a real effort. They don't listen to online polls, and they don't listen to long lists and rants and all of that, even if you write a letter, but we can write letters. We can make phone calls, we can show up at meetings, and we don't have to do all of the things all of the time. But we can do some things some of the time, and we are many. They listen to local press and editorials, both good and bad. What did Berkeley do that was really great? Let's write that letter. Not just the bad about Walden. We really need to support our candidates. DeFazio especially is going to need some support, folks. They listen for endorsements for powerful local groups, and if you signed up, you are now one of them. And they're more likely to listen to us in large groups than they are to listen to us as individuals. They listen for specific requests with specific actions that they can carry out. And they are listening, and if you read that Indivisible guide, there's some really good steps about how to call your congressperson, and I know that they're all men here, but your congressperson, and talk to them. What to say, how to say it, what to write. There is much that each one of us can do, and really, not all of us need to do all of the things all of the time. But we're here to support all of what you do, and we're stronger together.
We are also working all around the state so that we're stronger together, not just here, but statewide. This is an amazing group here. There's more than 2,500 people in Ashland who are working. The Bend group is getting strong, so we're stronger together. So how many of you have concerns about the Trump agenda? Now, we did an online survey that got a number of results. We got about 133 answers. So we know some of the issues that are important to you. How many people here care about the environment and climate change? How many of you care about human and civil and women's and LGBTQ rights? How many of you care about healthcare? Me too. How many of you care about education? How many care about voting rights, corruption, Election reform. All right, let's just keep your hands up for the rest of the night. And I know there are many other concerns. I know people are worried about a lot of things, and each of you come with your own issues. Some of you are single action voters who prefer to talk about just one thing, and that's great. Laser focus is important. We as a group are going to focus on the issues where we can make a real difference at the local level, at the state level, at the national level. That's not to say that you can't pursue your individual things. This is not about making sure that everybody does the same stuff. We're not a hierarchical organization. We want to support you in the things that you care about. As a group, we want to focus on the things where we have the most leverage. So we're stronger together. The other lesson, remember the third lesson, is that we're in this for the long haul. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is a marathon, not a sprint. We want to support each other as we all add this new effort to our lives. We will work with mutual respect and support and collaboration to succeed in returning our minority government to the majority. And we have some quotes we'd like to share with you from people who cannot be here today. The first one's from Jolie Nelson, and she posted on the Rogue Indivisible Facebook page. And this is a quote. This morning I have been pondering a nearly forgotten lesson I learned in high school music. Sometimes in band or choir, music requires players or singers to hold a note longer than they actually can hold a note. In those cases, we were taught to mindfully stagger when we took a breath, so the sound appeared uninterrupted. Everyone got to breathe, and the music stayed strong and vibrant. Yesterday, I read an article that suggested the administration's litany of bad executive orders as a way of giving us protest fatigue. We will literally lose our will to continue the fight in the face of the onslaught of negative action. But let's remember music. We will take a breath. The rest of the chorus will sing. The rest of the band will play. Rejoin so others can breathe. Together, we can sustain a very long, beautiful song for a very, very, very long time. We don't have to do it all. You don't have to do it all, but you must add your voice to the song. With special love to all the musicians and music teachers in my life, and I'm looking for a couple I know out here. Glad you're here. Resist.
There's another one from Kate Dwyer, who many of you know. She's on the Three Rivers School Board. She is a wonderful person. She's very strong in the Illinois Valley. And I hope, how many people are here from the Illinois Valley tonight? I spent some time out in Cave Junction recently, and it's really important that we had you guys here. So I'm going to read a short quote from Kate tonight. I keep thinking it's later than this. She says, I am really interested in what Indivisible is doing. If I were there, I would speak up for respectfully reaching out to our neighbors who have recently been betrayed and being so kind to them that when the betrayal becomes clear, they shelter with us their sincere friends. I am hoping that Indivisible means not we, the progressives, are united, but we, the Reason Center, are united against this divisive buffoonery in our defense of each other and our democracy. And she goes on. All right. I know it. Yeah, she's a great person. So, doing this will require that we act. We're more effective in our direct action when we keep each other informed and help each other out, as we talked about with the orchestra analogy. So, this requires direct action. Where's my...
All right. So after our breakout, the direct action will be the second part of our program. But I wanted to just ask a few questions. Who has already participated in a march lately? All right, great. How about the Resist Trump Tuesdays? Down in Medford. Yeah. Written any letters lately? Been talking to your friends, I'm sure. So World Indivisible has already planned several direct actions. Resist Trump Tuesdays. So these are in Medford, and it's where we visit the offices of our local federal representatives, and everybody is invited to participate, and you'll see all of that online. We also have prepared a Beware the Ides of Trump postcard campaign, tax march,
March 15th.
March 15th, well, yeah, that's the Ides of March, okay. Science march, and coordinating with other indivisible groups in Walden's district. We hope each of you will come up with other creative ways we can resist the radical Republican agenda. But first, let's get to know each other. And who's next up?
I'm John Walsh, and maybe for those of you who know me, the idea that this is a marathon and not a sprint means a lot to me, because that's certainly something I've done for a big part of my life. I'm really going to talk about the survey and thank those of you who have already done it online. Some of you I know have filled out the survey here. If you haven't, we ask that you do so that we have a really good, accurate focus on what it is that you care about most and how you see you can make a difference. So because of the survey, from the electronic part, you're seeing the issues that ended up being most important to the people who filled out the surveys. So the environment, healthcare, civil rights, LGBTQ, women's rights, etc., voting rights, and political corruption, and other. And what we would really, when we have the break, we would like you to gather in the area that you feel most strongly about. So maybe we could take your names, contact information, and look and talk a little bit more about passion. So we'll be coordinating all of that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is that we do have 2 donation cans over there on the table. One is for the Boys and Girls Club. They kindly allowed us to rent this at a great rate. They're a wonderful organization, we know, that makes a big difference in this community. And just to give you an idea, every week they serve 5,000 meals to children in our community. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So we're grateful to them, and anything you can give would be appreciated. We also have a can there to help us defray expenses, Indivisible. So if you feel like you would like to contribute there, feel free. They're both over there. All right, so I think now aren't we kind of on the break? Okay.
Wow, this is, we had one person trying to count, and there are at least 308 people here. Thank you, thank you. So what we're planning to do is going to be a little bit loud in here. If you congregate under the different signs, and I found my other sign, I'm up here, and each of us that you saw speaking to you or introduced, we're going to be at those groups. We're going to ask you to pick sort of a team captain or communicate with one another about the things that you feel strongly about. What we want to make sure is that we collect some bullet points from you on things we should focus on. We want to make sure we hear you in 2 different forms. So one is this breakout, and then the second time is during the social time, where we're going to ask you for what role do you want to take as we're becoming active. So do you want to help us with writing? Do you want to help us with news releases? Do you want to go out and protest and march in person? So that we need to understand what it is that you can do with us so that we're well coordinated. So use this time. We're going to give you about 10 minutes. If you do need to use the restroom, please feel to go outside, out the door to the right. I'll do a whistle, so if you hear a whistle or somebody screaming up here, we're going to go into the formal break, and we do have some goodies. We weren't counting on this crowd, so my apology ahead of time. We're probably going to run out. I'll just set the expectation right now. So I'm going to go around the room here real quickly. So we have education over here. Environment. I'm sorry, I can't even read. Environment. Then we have healthcare, like Obamacare, ACA. We have the rights, as in human rights, equal rights, all of the different rights. Directly behind those people at the back there is education. Then we have voting rights and corruption. And if you don't align with one of those and you're an other person, I'm up here. Now, this doesn't mean you're locked into this. We just want to give you an opportunity to share. If the crowd is small in one area, people move to the other area. We want to get feedback from you. The other way you can always give us feedback is to email. So go for it, and we'll be back together in about 15 minutes. Okay, so what I want to talk about a little bit is that we are, it's unbelievable. We're only 4 weeks into being a group. So thank you very much for being here. And please have some understanding that we are wrestling with a lot of activities, actions, people, emails, and we are not organized to handle the masses that we're getting. And so, yeah. So we are a work in progress. So it's really important to us to get your feedback and your input. And again, Rogue Indivisible at either Outlook or Gmail. Email us and let us know what we need to be doing differently or what we should focus on. We are going to email you a survey for feedback to collect information from you for our, how often should we meet, what other things should we be planning, what should we be doing. It's really important for us to hear from you. Please have understanding though, there's 7 of us now, so if all of you email us, we won't get back to you within 30 minutes. Maybe 45 minutes. And if it's David, it's going to be at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, actions. Before I start though, real quickly, how many of you know who your state representatives are? Okay. So majority. I understand sometimes it's confusing. I've been on email with people who are sort of in District 1 and District 2 because of their geography. We have a computer set up over here. If you would like us to help you look up who your representative is during the social time, feel free to walk over. Joe, would you stand up, please? That's Joe. Joe will help you. The other thing is I had many people come up to me with a lot of other issues. I wasn't able to address all of them. Email me with your other issues. We will try to catalog these. We had a number of people come up to us and ask to speak to this group. I'd like to acknowledge that we would like to have everybody speak, but we want to be out of here probably by around 4 o'clock. So unfortunately, we can't do that. But we do want to meet again. Remember, this is the first meeting. We wanted to get your attention. You got our attention. Thank you. So, I have to move. I'm so energized here. So what are we doing next? You've heard Resist Trump Tuesdays. We tried to get people organized. Are you going to go on the first Tuesday of the month, the second Tuesday? I would recommend that each one of you put a Tuesday a month or every 6 weeks on your calendar. What's involved? You go to the courthouse in Medford, show up there at 12 o'clock, and there will be a group of people that then either go to Walden's office, to Whitey's office, or Merkley's office, thank you. And they, the first time I went, they had signs you could fill out and make your own. You can bring your own signs. Sometime in the future, you'll probably get emails or you'll see stuff on Facebook saying, okay, the next Resist Tuesday is going to be focused on this. And I think this coming Tuesday, the focus is really going to be focused going to Walton's office. We want to stand there and let him know we're going to be heard. You heard about the Ides of March. I recommend, okay, so let me get something out here. March 15th. So who asked that question? Okay, that person just won a bag of Cheetos. So pass it over. Pass it over to the lady in the back. Well, we meet at noon on Tuesdays at the courthouse. Okay, we have some giveaways here for people. So who has sent postcards? Oh, you responded first. I saw Diane. Okay, that's 5 pre-postage paid postcards. If you go to the post office, you can buy little postcards that already have the postage on them. What I do is I take Disney stickers and other stickers and make them fancy. You can put pictures on there. I don't know, we've got all kinds of goodies here. So I noticed that a number of you also brought signs. So who has been to a Resist Tuesday? Okay, that lady in the back there, black shirt, you just won a water bottle. From my previous employer. It's brand new in the plastic bag. There you go. You're welcome. PPA free for the environmental people. Okay, we've got all kinds of goodies here. So Resist Tuesday is important. I have to check my notes here. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Flaky. Another thing that's coming up that you might have heard about, April 15th, the tax march. And our plan is to do a march here in Grants Pass. So we're going to try to bring marches here. The following week is the Science Day or Earth Day March. And okay, so how many of you would like to do that locally? You're going to turn out. Woo! Okay, so we are going to try to do these things here locally instead of going to Medford or Ashland. Okay, Doug, our direct action person, loves seeing the enthusiasm. He's the person you're going to talk to or hear from because if we can get you to turn out with your friends, we can do these marches. We can get the media there. Linda will work with our media team to make sure we're doing news releases, we're getting publicity. One thing we ask you to do is take pictures of your postcards and post them. Take pictures when you go to the Resist Tuesdays and post them. Everything you do, we want to document. If you request a meeting with one of your representatives and you get a screenshot that says your meeting has been acknowledged, maybe not accepted, but acknowledged, take a picture of that screenshot and save it. We will collect all of those things so that then we can go to somebody like Walt and say, okay, you got 20 requests. Nobody ever heard from you. And then we can go to the press and they will start publishing these things. So we have to be organized in our actions. So the yes lady here help me stay on track. You get a Wild River Pub gift card. Thank you. So, what else do we have here? Oh, okay, I gotta check my notes again. Thank you, Vicki, for keeping me on track here. Other groups. So we have other groups represented here, whether it's Heartstrong in the Applegate, ROP, those people, everybody has different groups. David's going to talk about ROP real quickly, but I want you to know that we are trying to coordinate with everybody. We don't want to absorb them, we want to help each other. A great example is LNG, so the pipeline and going to Coos Bay. They may come to us and say, hey, we're going to do a march on such and such day. And we'll say, okay, we're going to help activate our group, and in return, you activate your group. Whether it's Planned Parenthood, for the environment, for schools, whatever it is, plan on being activated and let us know if you belong to a group that needs activity people to show up. So I see a lot of ladies here with hats, the green hats. Oh, I must be on drugs. Okay, Vera, right? Here you go. Yeah, here you go. Oh, sorry. Oh, please. And, yeah, she has an announcement to make. So, yeah. Okay, so real quickly, I noticed a lot of people brought signs as well, so we're going to address that in just a second. I want to talk about the sister district. So envision the United States. On the west coast, it's blue. On the east coast, it's blue. And what color is it in between? Red. Okay, the sister district is trying to change that. And so what they just recently did, they activated their membership, and I was a volunteer there. I signed up at sisterdistrict.org, and what they're doing is backing candidates who are going to help us change red to blue. So their candidate is running on February 25th. And within a week, they were able to raise $84,000 for her. Within 3 weeks, they had raised $125,000 for her. And we'll see what happens. They are working with us to possibly support our efforts to replace Walden. So what we're asking for in return is please go to their site. And if you sign up as a volunteer, you don't have to do anything. They may ask you to contribute. I personally contribute. I'll tell you, I contributed $5. If every one of us contributes $5 to other candidates and other people across the U.S. do it for us, that will give us the funds to do these activities that we want to be doing. I will be asking for somebody here, please. I need a volunteer to be our captain district, our district captain. My dyslexia is coming through. So during the social hour, please come to me if you're interested in being a district captain for the sister district. It does not involve a lot of work. It's just being the primary point person, just like we're the primary point people for different activities. David, ROP.
So we had two important notes in the meantime. One, there's a question about what the agenda is for this next week's Truck Tuesday. I could tell you what I think the agenda is. I'd probably be wrong. We'll post it on the website and the Facebook page, okay? So if you want to know specifically what that protest is about, so you know what to write on your signs, we will let you know. For those who could check the Facebook page, that'll be great. I'll also put it on the website for those who are not on Facebook. Another thing was, I was told by one of the precinct captains for the Democratic Party that they have, I think, 100 slots for precinct captains open. That is a very important position that you could take on. I'm not the one to address that, but we have multiple party representatives here. That would be a way to get involved for those who so choose. So the Rural Organizing Project, some of you may have heard about this. They were very active in the 90s in fighting anti-LGBTQ issues. She gets junk food. They are getting re-energized. and they're getting particularly re-energized around fighting Trump's agenda in red areas like ours. So what they offer, Grace Warner is our local organizer. She was just brought in. I don't know if she's paid or not, but she lives up in Hugo. She is willing to help everyone in this area who wants to organize in any way, learn how to do that. She wants to support them. She wants these groups to survive. She doesn't want them to be things that sort of pop up and then die off. So she wrote, these are her talking points, and I'm channeling Grace right now. ROP is a network of over 50 autonomous, all-volunteer groups throughout Oregon who are committed to organizing for human dignity and justice. ROP staff network groups to break rural isolation and support individual groups in building up their capacity so they are as impactful as possible. We also take guidance from our member groups to elevate different political moments and priorities that need collective action or response. Some of the ways we support local groups include helping you form a strong leadership team, develop your database, and connect with other groups, thinking through strategy for a particular campaign, breaking isolation and helping you connect with other rural groups, bringing workshops and speakers to your area, and they do partnerships with organizations such as the Civil Liberties Defense Center and Oregon Humanities. We have a staff organizer in Josephine County. You can look her up and email her at grace@rop.org. And I met her. She's young, which is great. We need more young energy. She's very smart. And she is willing, for instance, if you just got snagged to be one of the coordinators, I'm sorry, you didn't done fast enough. We can help train you in what you need to do. We can also help you work yourself out of a job if you find out that you got it over your head. That's me. So those are the important things that they can do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to pass the speaker to microphone to Jan, who wants to address donations real quickly.
Hi there. Ooh, I can talk to people now. Yes, I just want to give you an idea of what's going on. You can see there's just a couple of us here. And, oh, okay, I'll do it this way. Thank you. I've had people ask me, what about donating to Rogue Indivisible? And right now we're only taking cash because we're not any organization. We're looking at filing for a 501c4 as a political action committee. And so we're just in the beginning of that. So in the meantime, if you want to give us money, cash, we can do that. And then as soon as we get the rest of it set up, we'll let you know. I'd also like to once again encourage you to maybe drop off a couple of bucks for our buddies here at the Boys and Girls Club. Wow, did they do a fabulous job for this? We told them 80 people. There's 300 here. So it's a great organization. So we will keep you informed, and thank you for coming. Oh, by the way, we have bumper stickers. Yes, they're $1 each, just to cover the cost, and they're glorious, pink with blue lettering. So please feel free to buy a couple.
Thank you. Question I got is, are we teaming with other Indivisibles? Yes, we are. There's an Indivisible in Ashland. There's Indivisible in Bend. There's Indivisible all over the state. We're trying to find those groups. If you are aligned or know people, I'm in contact with people in Portland. We are all trying to get aligned and coordinate our efforts. So right now, what I would like to ask people to do, some of you brought signs. If the people who brought signs could please come up here, and while they're coming up here, Susan, I know you have a sign. There's other people. I need 2 volunteers that will help carry food into the room during the break. If I could get 2 volunteers to come up here. Come on in, everybody else, bring your sign. It's not during the break, okay? Okay, we've got signs going on here. Everybody who has a sign. Okay, so I have the need for a couple of judges. How about 2 other people that will do this with me real quickly? Please, 2 people, 2 volunteers. Okay, come on up here. Got 1 and 1 more person. Okay, These are great. Oh my God. How do we pick which one the best one is? Yes, I will do that. Good. Okay, so we're gonna do this real quickly. I'm gonna point to a person and you guys are going to clap. And I'm gonna use my judges here to determine whoever, I mean, they're all great, but this is the prize, #1 prize. And we're just gonna give out prizes to as many things as we have there. This is all for fun, and we want to reward you for creative signs. So I'm gonna go around here. Okay, the gentleman in the hat, is that a sign? Okay. Hell no, he must go. What do you think? Oh, great. Equal rights for all, they go low, we go high. Not my comrade. Choose peace, stop Trump. Respect existence or expect resistance. Impeach. Trump's well-oiled machine is grinding democracy into dust. #25, proof that you can fool 62 million people and embarrass the rest. Real news, fake precedent. Notice the spelling error there. Build the wall between church and state. Save the soul of America. Women's place is in the resistance. Resist Trump's agenda. You are broken. That is USA Trump. Congressman Walden denounced Stephen Bannon and white supremacy. Denounced. I thought voting was enough. I was wrong. Yeah. Resilient resistance, don't give in or up. Oh, isn't that good? And if you're not angry, you're not listening. Is there something on the other side of that? Where do I even start? And respect freedom of speech, freedom of the press, our environment, our democracy, and each other. Okay, judges, who's #1? Walden. Okay, Walden is going to, let me point out, I personally purchased this book because I believe in democracy. There's a book called The Little Blue Book. It is available through our local library here, or you can purchase the books online, used, wherever. And so I'm giving this away. This gentleman has written several books. This is a title that's easy to remember, Little Blue Book. Look it up. Get it at the library. Another great organization. So, please let it out. And a big hand goes to the Walden side. So, who's #2? We're going to do this real quickly here. Okay, go ahead and hand it to the person. Go ahead. Go hand them out. It's like trick or treat. So, thank these people here. Big hand for doing this today. Is there anything left in the bag? We have one more bag of Cheetos to give away. Oh, okay, who said that? Big boys over there. Peter? Is that Peter? Yeah. Okay, go hand it out. So thank you all for bringing your signs. Woo! Okay, you can go ahead and have a seat now. Oh. I can't operate without notes. So what's happening the rest of the time here? Two things that are really important. So eating, talking, and being active. So And it's not happening in that order. So as I mentioned, we're gonna have setting up a table over here with some goodies and a big round of applause to Diane. Where's Diane? Chris? You got Chris, come on up here, please. Chris is our representative here locally from the Boys and Girls Club to help make this happen. She's also the master baker with Diane and Dawn, and Jan brought a lot of chips and stuff, so we're gonna have some food over here. So what did I say? Food, socializing, we're gonna have a socializer so you can talk to one another and talk to us. And we're going to ask you to sign up for a specific activity if you feel that you can do that today. If not, you can email me and our group at rogueindivisible@outlook or at gmail.com. So if you did not sign the registration sheet with your email address, we might not know how to contact you. We do not have the ability to call people or to send notices via US mail. I'm sorry, we just are spread too thin to do that. So, question over there? Okay, I'm going to talk about the activities that we're going to ask you to sign up for. So if I could ask my team members to come on up here again. Jan, I'm going to need you and Dawn. Charlotte, please. Yes. Oh. Okay, so what we want to do next is we are we're not leaders, we're team members, we're coordinators, we're facilitators, and we just happen to be up here. This could be you, and we're looking for more people to be up here and be us as well. But for today and for the foreseeable next couple of weeks, because we're operating by the day and by the week, not for the years right now, in terms of organization, we're evolving into a very active organization that needs volunteers. So I'm going to pass the microphone around so that you know what each person is representing, so that you can come during the social time. You can grab some food, talk to your friends here, or meet new friends. I encourage you to do that. We're all on a first name basis. That's the reason we asked you to put on name tags. And then come find us so that we can get you signed up in the area that you feel you can contribute the most. You can sign up in multiple areas, or you can sign up in no areas at all. You can think about it. It's really up to you. At the end of the day, we are only as successful as all of us together doing things. And I can't emphasize that enough, because that's what's happened in the past, is we were active for a little bit and then it went away. We want to be active every day for the next 4 years. Great.
Okay, I'm Jan, and I'm going to be dealing with our state reps. We've got some dishes in Oregon that we want to keep on top of it so things don't get awry. So if you'd like to help with a couple of those folks, give me stop up and see me, and we'll talk about how to go forward on this.
I'm Charlotte, and I'm going to be dealing with legislation, both state legislation and federal legislation. And we're going to need some people to keep tracking with us. It's hard to follow. It's really fun, actually, if you like being on the computer late at night reading stuff. But anyway, it's okay. So state and federal legislation, and come see me.
I'm back. I'm about recruiting. So those of you, I'm Dawn. I'm Dawn, and I am working on the recruiting piece. I liked it. I was having a conversation back there, and a young woman was saying something. I like to use the word building bridges. So bridge builders, people who are good connectors, please come to me, and we will work on ways to broaden our circle. All right. Right. If you do belong to another group, identify yourself, please.
I'm Linda, and I'm going to be the point person for media. A big part of that is letters to the editor and writing and editing. Lots of people have great thoughts, but they'd like one other person to look over their thoughts and edit them. So we're going to be talking about media with a focus right now on letters to the editor, and I have some information to give you, so find me.
I want to add on, I was approached by people about petitions. If you would like to start a petition, like on change.org, please run it by us. We want to combine those and make sure that we're getting the full messaging. So work with Linda, please. And my name is Suzanne again. I'm the other person on the group, so it's group communications, Facebook. If you have experience with web pages, if you have ideas on how we can better organize our daily actions, anything that doesn't fall in these groups, come see me.
Hi, I'm Doug, and I'm in charge of actions, questionable actions, and good actions, and Charlotte is my partner in this. I don't know what that is yet. We're working on that. Events, marches, the things that go on out there. I think what we're going to do is try to coordinate that and let everybody know when something's happening, where it's happening, what it means to be involved with one action or another, so you know whether you can pull it off and do it or not.
My name is David. I'm going to be leading or at least coordinating the effort to work on our federal legislators. 3 of those are Democrats. Wyden, and Walden, I always get mixed up. Wyden, Merkley, and DeFazio, because we're at the intersection of 2 different districts, we need to have their backs. Walden is probably going to be the biggest focus. So I had a question in the back a little bit ago. What are the chances that we can actually be heard by Greg Walden? Well, the group in Ashland, which is now 2,500 members, was outside of his office and made enough noise that they got him on a telephone town hall to talk about the Affordable Care Act. Where has he been in the past week? He's been in the far northeastern corner of the state. That's where he held his town halls. They had about 40 people there. They were handpicked. He has not come to Bend. He has not come to Medford. I can tell you the last time he was in Grants Pass because he was there at a Rotary event to give out the Student of the Year awards. Not public, no input, no questions, no nothing. The guy is going to protected events where he knows he's going to have a friendly audience. What do you think the chances are that if we showed up, this group, in front of his office in Medford and said, we want a meeting, that he would eventually show up? What do you think? So I've already connected with the groups in Bend, in Sisters. There's one in Curry County. Sorry? Our flag is in distress. It's trying to send us a message. There's actually an Indivisible group in Union County, if you can believe that. So we're connecting with groups all over Walden's district to try to figure out how we can defeat him. The other question I got was, what do you think the chances are that we can actually unseat Greg Walden? My answer is yes. So that's going to be the job for the next 2 years. We start now. All right? So that's what we're working on. So I'll get this back to Suzanne. She'll tell us what we're supposed to be doing next.
Somehow I became the master or mistress of ceremonies. Go women! Yeah. So it really is. Okay, there's an event, a play coming up in March. Okay, here is a pink flyer. They're throughout the room. Please pick those up if you would like to attend this event on March 12th here. And it's all about what we learned or heard at the Women's March in Ashland and Portland. Across the globe. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we have somebody who. Okay, somebody. Yeah, we're doing that, so I took mine, picture and posted it on Facebook already.
A couple things to that. One is we've been live streaming this. I don't know if you guys knew that. So there will be video on Facebook. We purposely did not publicize this to the media because we didn't want protesters out front. You know who those people would be. But we will have our picture in the paper. The Courier was here. So it will be taken care of.
So I would like to take just a minute to thank you again so much for being here, giving your feedback, and helping us. We can't do it without you. We have to depend on you. We have representatives from all over, from the Democratic Party to other organizations here. Please feel free to socialize. Come find us related to the issues we talked about. U.S. representatives, state representatives, recruiting, legislation, so bills, media, Belinda, direct action, and other. So find us. We want to hear and talk to you, and thank you very much for your time. Last but not least, we are going to email you a survey. We need to hear back from you so we can do a better job. We want to know how often you want to meet with us as a group like this. And understand this takes a lot of coordination, and we need volunteers that are going to help us with recruiting, for example, or doing events like this. So please step forward. And that's it. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you.